Welcome back, VW community and folks and people. And I screwed that all up, but I'm not editing it. Today, I'm going to go over the Solex Carburetor real fast with you, kind of a quick DIY 101. Just to, somebody posted in the comments on my last video, and I forget what they said, but it was something about the carburetors. So I'm going to do a quick DIY on it, pretty much an FYI, and go over it a little bit because I still think they're great carburetors. Unless you're going high performance, that's fine, but they're really great carburetors if you take care of them and properly maintenance them and do what they need. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at this Solex. This is the 34 pick 3. Okay, I have a 34 pick 4 here also. It's like California emissions, blah, blah, blah. Somebody was talking on one of the comments about fuel filters in the engine compartment, okay? Many people do it. I've done it for years too. But I run mine along the transaxle, as you can see here. And if you'd like to, you can buy a bracket they sell that mounts it neatly, and I'll show you one here. Now you can do that. Now the main thing is, a lot of people think that they have a problem with fires because of the fuel filter cracking and falling apart. That's technically what don't happen, not normally. This right here, where your fuel line goes onto from your fuel filter, so to speak, or coming from your fuel pump, this ends up pulling out. So you have to be careful with that. It's not a barbed fitting that holds the fuel line on. It's very smooth. I believe now a lot of the updated carburetors have barbed fittings on some of them. Correct me if I'm wrong. What you got to do with this is pull on this, even with a pair of pliers. Make sure it don't pull out, because what happens is these pull out from age or what have you, and then the fuel starts pumping out, and then you have an engine fire. So it isn't always just the fuel filter that's causing engine fires. It is this right here. Make sure it's in there tight. Now, what a lot of people do, let me grab a hose clamp here, are the clamps that I like. Okay. There's two different kinds, obviously. You have your old school kind. I guess you've seen those and you know what they are. I prefer these. These are just a nicer clamp all the way around. They cost a little more, but not much. I prefer these kind of clamps. Now, a lot of guys, what they will do when they put these on, let me make sure it's in the camera. I can even move it a little closer here. A lot of guys, when they put their hose up here and put their clamp on and clamp it down, they take a little piece of wire and they wrap it around the screw or wherever you can on this, even around the threaded part, and take a a piece of wire, and run it over and wrap it around the screw head here. So if this was to pull out, it's not going to be able to. That wire holding it over is going to keep it in so that you don't have an issue. And that's the way to do it. So basically, your clamp on with your hose, you can loosen that screw up a little. I believe that's what some people are doing. And you're going to run it over and put it around there. Or possibly too, you can wrap your little piece of wire around here real tight, is what to do. But that's what you want to do, and it'll keep that from pulling out. So somebody had brought that up on one of the videos. I forget, I think it was my last video. I can't remember now. But that's that in a nutshell with your Solex carburetors, okay? Remember, a lot of people, let me get this spring out of the way here. A lot of people take this screw and they adjust it and it falls over. They adjust it and they use that as the idle. That is not what you do, okay? Put it on the lowest lobe there is, okay? The lowest one. And adjust this to where it's barely touching. I mean, barely touching it. It's just touching it barely, okay? Your adjustments are here, these two screws, okay? Now, here's how I do it. and I've had a lot of success with this, okay? When you first rebuild it or you're first putting it on a car, you've cleaned it up or what have you, adjust this till it's barely touching the lowest lobe. Bring these both out about 2.5 turns, okay, is what to do. Get the car up and running, okay, and once your Beetle is running, or your bus or Gia, whatever, what have you, take this screw and just slowly adjust it to where you want it to be, say around 800-900 RPM. You want them to spin a little faster than a normal car because you want it to cool properly. Take this bottom screw, the fuel screw, turn it out slightly, real slow. Don't move it fast, okay? Until you hear it slightly bogged down. Once it does, start turning it back clockwise where you're turning it in. Slowly turn it in. You'll feel it kind of, get nice and smooth, but keep turning. Keep turning it in very slow until it starts to bog down again and stop. Turn it back counterclockwise again, very slowly until it smooths up, and that's your sweet spot. After you do that, then go back to your large screw, your air screw, which I call an idle screw, and then adjust it to 800 or 900 RPM at idle, wherever you need it to be. And you're done. Leave it alone, okay? Now, some people have complained about flat spots. A lot of times it is due to a Bosch 009 distributor not playing well with the 34 pick 3. They don't like each other. So if you have an SVDA distributor, quote unquote, vacuum advanced distributor, that's what you want to use with these, in all honesty. That's what they cooperate very well together. So that's what you want to do. But also, I want to show you something. Let me bring the camera over and show you something here. Down inside, right there. Do you see that little arm? Yeah? Okay. That little arm down there, when you pull the throttle, you'll see it spray. Okay? And that little elbow coming out at the bottom, I don't have good enough light in here. Let's see if I can get it over there. That little arm coming down in there sprays fuel when you hit the throttle. Okay? So, what you can do there is, while it's not running, pull this, your throttle arm, turn it around for you. Pull your throttle arm very slightly with the car turned off. Pull it slightly and look down in there at that little arm. As soon as you pull this slightly, I mean the slightest bit, like about like that, it should start to spray immediately. If it's not, your accelerator pump could need adjusted. Okay? Let me back the camera up a hair here. Now, a lot of these are adjustable that way. Mine needs cleaned up. It's got some rust on it. This has been sitting on a shelf. See, there's little notches on it, and I believe there's a line in it too. However, you can loosen this screw up a little wee bit, and you can adjust it plus or minus. And that is for the squirt for the accelerator pump. Okay? So, you can adjust that and make it squirt quicker or less quicker. Either way, you got to go. But this needs cleaned up real good. It would make sense if you've seen it, you know what I mean? So you're going to loosen that screw up lightly, and then you can adjust the spray for your throttle arm, from your throttle arm with your accelerator pump. And that will help greatly, okay? Another thing, somebody just posted on a Beetle Club the other day and was saying that this was just snapped shut. They had to like struggle to get it open. All right. Back in the day, we called these a thermostat, choke thermostat. I don't know if that's what you guys call them, but I do. All right. You have 3 screws there. Loosen them 3 screws slightly. You don't got to loosen them like crazy, because if this comes out completely, there's a little arm in there that the spring wraps around and it'll pull off, and you'll just have to put it back on. Loosen them up just enough, a little wee bit, so this can turn. And that will turn the tension, because this is a spring in here, so that it changes the tension on the butterfly. Wait, I got the arm there. It'll change the tension on the butterfly. Mine needs adjusted, I can tell, but this was just sitting on a shelf. I'm going to rebuild it, okay? So that is how you adjust the tension on your choke, okay? And it's best to do it, obviously, when the car is ice cold. It has not been run overnight, technically, because once it warms up, that spring changes because the spring expands. So that's that in a nutshell there. These are very easy to rebuild. However, if you have one that you have rebuilt and it's still acting strange on you, the best thing to do is take some carburetor cleaner, spray it there, and if it bogs down real quick or speeds up, your throttle shaft bushings are shot. It ain't the end of the world if you want to spend the money and send it to somebody like Volksbits. He probably does the best from what I know, and he will take this completely apart and put all new bushings in that'll last you another 40 years. Well worth it, because these Solex carburetors are great. If you're staying stock, of course, you know. But that's what to do. If your throttle shaft is leaking there, when you spray in there, that's technically a vacuum leak, okay? So these are really, really good carburetors, there's no doubt. One thing I have found with the stock carburetors, at least where I live with the ethanol fuel, is they have a 55 idle jet. Yeah, this one does. It's right there. I'll never get the camera to focus on it. It says 55 on it. And they have a 125 main jet, which you can get to by taking this off and going in there, pulling the jet out. Or you can take the top off, it's easy. But with the ethanol fuels, for some reason, it's making the Beetles run leaner because they like to run rich, and it's causing them to run hotter. So what I found out with these, a lot of people will say with the ethanol fuel now, I can't get my car to idle right. Now, a lot of times it could be due to needing a fuel pressure regulator on it, because a lot of these fuel pumps now, the diaphragms are harder, and it's obviously causing problems, and you have 8 pounds of fuel pressure where you should only have 1.5 to 2. So what that amounts to, fuel pressure regulator is well encouraged now. But when you change these over to a 60 idle jet and a 127.5 main jet, or even a 130 main jet, you're going to have a car running really, really nice. We did this to my buddies, and it changed it completely because of the ethanol fuel. And it is what it is. I know I'm right about it. So, and they won't run as lean, and they're a happier Beetle. So that's a little bit about the Solex carburetor. I hope that helps some people. These are not hard to rebuild. There's plenty online about them. I'll be doing it in about 4 weeks because I got other stuff to do. I'll do a detailed video on rebuilding these. But remember, if in fact your throttle shafts are leaking when you spray there and that idle drops off, now don't hose it down, you know, like you're putting out a fire, because you could probably get past any new bushing even doing that. But just mist it lightly right there and there when it's running. If it drops off right away when you're just misting it, throttle shafts need rebuilt. It's worth it though. Trust me, these new carbs are not that great unless you're buying like a dual set of Weber 34s or something, or an IDF. But other than that, that's the deal with the Solexes. These are great, great carburetors. That's why I saved my old ones, because they're always rebuildable and you can rebush them if needed. So, okay, that's it on the Solex. I thought I'd go over a few things, and I hope this helps even one person. You know what I mean? It's great to hold on to these old German parts when we can, because as we know, the new ones are really not built that great. I'm not saying all of them, but most of them. And two, when you buy a new carburetor now, even an empty or what have you, Brossel, you've got to take them apart and clean them out. We didn't have to do this years ago. Many years ago, you bought a carburetor and put it on and started it and adjusted. Now you got to take them all apart, get an air nozzle, blow everything out. I think that's a real shit deal if you ask me, but it is what it is. But any questions or anything I missed or anything you didn't agree with, put it in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Appreciate that. And whoever followed my last video on blowing out and cleaning out the fuel line, okay? You've seen all the crap I got out of there. It was real dirty. Well, the carburetor fluid disappeared now, and that's what came out. So I'm going to do another cleaning on that That is a lot of crap to come out of there. So I think I'm going to do another cleaning on it just to make sure. All right, so we'll be starting headliner in a couple days now. I'm not looking forward to it. But what I was waiting on is I went ahead. Oh, my knees. I had to run seam seal along here that goes between the belly pan and the heater channel, so to speak, rocker panel. So all I got to do tomorrow is sand the inner door frame down all the way around, and then go ahead and get it in primer just like the other side. The other side's all done, obviously. It's in primer. I'm not going to paint it till I put the headliner in, and then I'll mask off the headliner. I don't care because I don't want to scratch the paint all back up. So this side really come out good. All the seam sealers on. Everything's done. The bolts aren't in there. Don't worry, they're nice and loose. But that all come out pretty good. I'm happy. Very, very nice. So that's it. There's tape here covering my old bin tag. I didn't want to screw it up. Although somebody I know can actually make me a new one. I might do that anyhow, you know. But that's all done. The soundproofing's all in. And this is not going to be fun because I don't have a normal one. It has a sunroof. So I got to use these stupid little springs and then put the bows through them. I don't know. Don't even have a video on it, so I'm just going to do it. But at first, we're going to start out with the doorposts, so to speak. We're going to do them first, and I'll show you how they go on. I even have the sound deadening kit from J-Bugs that I got, so we'll do that. There's my engine over there peaking. Hi. Okay, so that was it for today. I did pick up that engine stand. Harbor Freight had one on sale. I don't believe I need to purchase a Volkswagen motor engine stand. I think I can adapt it to fit my motor, hopefully, because in about a month and a half or tops, I'm going to be disassembling the engine, so that'll be a lot of videos there. Like I said, the headliner video is going to probably be 3 or 4 parts, you know, but it is what it is. If anybody has any little tips or tricks with a regular engine stand, let me know. I was told maybe I can take the bell housing, was looking at my other transmission laying there, off of that and make it work somehow. Or maybe I can bolt a regular engine stand to a Volkswagen engine. I don't know, but I'll figure it out. It was a good price, and it holds 700 pounds. It'll work. Because I didn't want to try to work with it on my workbench, so I went out and grabbed one today. But I want to give a special round of applause to Harbor Freight. They took all of their nitro gloves, their masks, there was something else I forget. They shut them down in the stores right now. All their stores and warehouses are shipping them to medical supplies for the coronavirus. I give them credit. Good thing I had gloves on hand. But they went ahead and donated it all. I give them credit, whether you like them or not. I do, and I respect that. They wiped all their warehouses out and everything to do that, to help out with this virus. I hope everybody's doing good. Stay safe, healthy, and happy. Safe, healthy, happy. It's always my 3 things I bring up. Be happy. You only live one time. So help each other out. Join each other's channels. Comment. Share my channel if you can. I'd really appreciate it, so I don't feel like I'm kind of doing this myself. But okay, thanks for being here, and I will catch you next time. And check the website out too when you get time. I'll be adding more and more. Talk to you soon. Bye.